All right, folks, welcome back. This episode, we are going to make this little character look like our little animated character, or you're going to design the character. I'm just going to show you how to paint the map or how to use the map to the best of your ability. So let's first start out by going to File, Set Project, choose Blocky Character, hit Set. Then let's do a files open scene, open blocky 5, then do a file save scene as, we'll call it blocky 6. Now, I just realized you probably can't see this because it's putting a little icon up there, but under workspace, make sure you're under general and then tell it reset current workspace. Um, Now we're going to want to make sure we are still in modeling now, because we want to be able to see the UV editor again. So I'm going to go to UV editor. And when nothing is selected, try to scale this down a little bit so y'all can see it. If nothing's selected, I don't see my UV editor, or I don't see anything in my UV editor. But now I'm going to go ahead and select. If I select all of them, you start to see them all start to appear. Whoops, somehow managed to grab a item that was not a mesh. But if I select them all, I get the entire piece. Now, here's what you got to get used to. So I'm going to zoom in over here, position it in the center. I'm going to go to face mode. If I hover over a face, it shows me where on my map or on my character that face is. So let's start with this one. So I know where that is. So I'm going to go open up Photoshop, and I've got my out.uv PSD file open. If I zoom in, whoops, on that face, I'm going to create myself a new layer. And just for fun, I'm going to show you how it works. Let's go ahead and I'll just use black ink. And for right now, I'm going to draw a happy face with my mouse. Obviously, we're going to spend a lot more time, or you're going to spend a lot of time setting up your character. If I do File Save, come back to Maya, it uploads or updates my PSD file. So as you can see, once it updates, we have our little face. So some of the issues, though, that you will run into, and we want to kind of look, let's start with, say, the arm. So we know those faces right there. This one. So these three, and then this one, because I'm hovering over them, those are going to be the sleeves. So if I go back over to Photoshop, oops, let me go over here. I'm going to jump back and forth between these two till I get comfortable with what I'm trying to do or where everything is at. So it's these and this. So what I'm going to do, just for a test run, I'm going to grab my box tool, and I'm going to go ahead and create a blue box. And you can tell I've got it too big. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. Let's do this green here. I'll go edit, fill. I'm not really spending too much time on the instructions for Photoshop because I don't know if you're going to be using Photoshop as your editor. If you are, basically what I just did was grabbed my rectangle tool, created a shape, then went edit fill and told my foreground color, which is the green I chose, to be the fill in. So then I'm going to hit Control T. I want to go hold Shift so it lets me distort it some. And I'm going to put that right over Hard part is making sure I cover up everything without going too far into the other piece. So I'm going to double click that. And then I'm going to do Control C, Control V, makes me a copy. Then I'm going to go ahead and put over here. It looks like pretty close to the right size because it covers it pretty well. Hit Control T, hold Shift, drag it over. And it doesn't matter if I overlap out into this extra gray. None of that will actually show up on my character. Only what's inside of these white boxes will show. And so I've got that. And let's go ahead and do a file save and go see how close we are. So now he's got his sleeve. So then I can go do the other side. And for this, I'm simply going to take these two, click on here, duplicate. With those selected, I'm going to move them over. Oop, apparently my face is on one of those layers. But I'm going to go ahead and move it over here. Try to put it into position. And it might be shifted down just a hair, so I may have to adjust it, but I think it'll be okay. And I'll do file save. Now he's got his sleeves. So now I want to figure out his waist or his shirt. His shirt should be all green. So what I can do for that is real easy. I can go ahead and take this one, do duplicate layer. I can then grab it, move it into place, and I got to get that happy face out of there. So I'm going to grab my eraser tool, make it pretty big, and get rid of that happy face. I don't need it. Then I'm going to have Control T. Oh, apparently I still have a little bit of that happy face somewhere. So let's go ahead and do this tool. Do that and delete. Now grab my selection and do Control T. Whoops. Yeah, now it's empty. So now I'll do select, deselect, Control T. All right. So now I can scale this guy down. Again, it doesn't matter if it overlaps or anything, as long as it doesn't overlap the other ones. So there's that. I'm going to duplicate it again. And again, your goal would be, oh, need to confirm that. Duplicate again, Control T again, bring it down. Your goal would be to spend a little more time on it. I'm just showing you how to get them all set up and what issues you would run into. But if I do file save, go back, now he's got a green shirt. So he's got clothes on, starting to anyways. And I made one little boo-boo that we'll have to, I forgot to put us one line here as a reference, but we'll deal with that in a little bit. It's no big deal. Now we'll look at his legs. So his legs are these three and this one. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here. And for now, I'm going to try to figure out which layer that happy face is on. Okay, the happy face is on here. So I'm going to grab this, drag a box, hit delete, and then select, deselect. I'm going to go ahead and merge all of these together. All right, now I'm going to create a new layer for his pants. And so I will go ahead and drag my box over where his pants would go. I'll do like a dark gray, make his shoes black later. I'll do edit, fill. Then I will do duplicate layer. Move that up here. Should be the right height, just the wrong width. Do Control T, hold Shift to be able to shrink it down. And then double click, do a file save. Let's go see how close that one is. Okay, let's see if it goes all the way around. All right, so we've got that. Now I can, again, duplicate these layers. Select, deselect, and I'm just going to drag over. Oops. Move them into place. File save. All right, so now he's got those. Now the one thing I did mess up on, and it won't be too bad. I just didn't give us a cheat line for his waist. We want to paint part of his shirt the color of his pants so that it looks like his pants don't stick through. So what I will do is go to his shirt. I'm going to actually drag my map layer up above, and I think it's going to be, I want to go over here, and I want to figure out which face is at the top here. So if I go inside here, oh, let's go inside of his tummy. There's his legs. Actually, you know what? Let's do it easier. If I have my move tool selected and I hover over a face, so this face is the top. So we want to paint this one, and then we want to paint, so it's that one. So along there and along this bottom piece. So what I will do is go back over here. I'm going to create a little rectangle. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put this on a different layer so I don't mess up my base layer. And with my same color, I'm going to do edit, fill. And I'm going to do a save real quick. File, save. I want to see if that's high enough. So I'm going to go back over here. I need to go a little higher because his pants go up a little higher in there, or his legs. So I'll do Control T, drag it up. And I'm going to do Alt, oops, not Alt, Shift. And I'm going to drag this up to where it lines up right at the bottom of that white, because that's going to make it easier. Then I'll do a file save. Go back over here and see if that's high enough. Okay, that'll work. So now what I need to do then, go back over here because I need to do it on the bottom here and on this edge. So I'll do Control C, Control V to make myself a new layer. I'll drag my new piece up, put it here on this edge, do Control T, shift over, and the fun thing is, because I gotta fill this whole thing, I can just go and, oop, not that, hold Shift and pull that over and do File, Save. Oop, apply, file. It's already done. Now here's where it gets tricky. You want to make sure that when it goes all the way around, so I'm going to grab my controller here. Why is it not grabbing my controller? Oh, let me go to object mode. There we go. So I went to object mode. Now I'm grabbing this controller and I'm going to move it over. Same thing with this one. Move it over. And what I'm looking for is on the edges where they come together, do the lines line up or is there a glitch somewhere? I think they look pretty good. This one is where it comes together. It might be a hair off, but I don't think we'll notice it. But that's what you have to look for when you're trying to make sure that they line up properly. Now, I'm not happy totally with the way this uh, color is working, so I may have to figure something out for it later. May have not even notice it when we actually start animating, but I don't like how it sticks out that far or different. Then finally, now we got to do his shoes. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and just do them. We've got everything marked for them. His shoes should be right here and right here. Oops, those are actually the pants. That's why it looks different. Now I've got a better understanding. That's why it looks weird. If I grab, this one? Yeah. Grab this one, hit Control T, hold Shift, pull it up. Let's see if that fixes my problem. I want to see if that makes the color look a little better. Yeah, that's fixing it. That's what I messed up on. I did not go high enough on my lines. So this one can actually, I believe, if I do the same thing, Control T, Shift drag that one all the way up here. Then our shoes should be those pieces. Let's just test that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. I'm going to make myself a new box around here. I'm going to choose black and do edit, fill. Same thing down here. Do edit, fill. I'm going to do a file save. Let's see if I put them in the right spot. Oh, I'm working on the wrong foot, but it's doing what I need it to do. So I've got my shoe. Now you can tell I've got a little off because right here. So I'm gonna have to shift one of those black lines up a little bit. Let me see which one that is. Yeah, so this one's got to go up some. So if I go back over here and I grab this tool to Control T, this is where when you're working with different edges that are separated, but they need to be the same, you have to play around with it a little bit until you get them to match up perfectly. See, now I went too high. And so let me zoom in. Control T. updates. That's better. Okay, so now I got to touch up the other leg. And then I think we will move on to painting his arms. Then I'll show you one last issue that you'll run into. Oh, zoom out. Let's go over here. So looking at it now, I think I've got this leg done pretty well. The feet are there. So now we just got to do his skin tones, which we'll check something real quick. Let's check where these faces are. The top one, faces. Yeah, so the top face. So this whole piece will be a skin tone, skin tone. This will be green because it's the top of the shoulder, which, yeah, so that'll be green. And then this will be skin tone. So let's get back over to Photoshop real quick. We're going to go ahead and grab all of these now. And we're going to merge those layers. And so we'll work on this one. I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to create a new layer and grab my rectangle tool, drag a rectangle, and then I'm going to pick, I'll just pick this little color for now. Do edit, fill, do control, or actually, let's do control C, control V, bring that down. And this one we'll definitely want to look at because of how bright it is. We want to make sure we don't, because there's such a bright difference between the green and the tan, we don't want to have it wind up standing out if we have a blemish where they don't connect right. So I'm going to do duplicate layer now. I'm going to grab, I'm going to do Control T, Bring that over here. Yeah, that needs to go up a hair. There we go. And then Control. Let's go ahead and duplicate that layer again. Bring it up here. And once we get this done, it'll be kind of show you the blemish you'll have to deal with the face, the hard part. And then I think we'll be good. So then I'm going to go back to this layer, grab the selection tool, hit Control T, bring that down. Same thing. I'm going to do a file save and see how close my sleeves are. Go back over to Maya, see what he looks like. May change the pants color between now and the end because it is kind of dark. All right, so this side looks pretty good from what I can tell. They seem to line up pretty nicely. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna change the pants color just to brighten him up some, maybe put it as blue or whatever. Finally, the last piece that I want to look at is I want to show you. So we have these sides are the face or the sides of the head. And then this middle one is the back. So this is the bottom of his head right here. So that would be like a skin tone. The top would be a hair tone. And then you got to try to get the hair to line up all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and try that in Photoshop. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take all of these, going to merge those layers. Then I'm going to create a new layer. And this one just for playing with the face. So first things first, I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to make his face all that color that everything else is for his arms. So I'm going to drag a box around it, edit, fill, foreground. I can still see my outline because I moved my map to the top. So I've got that. I'm going to create one more layer. I'm going to use I'll use like a dark brown for now. So let's see if I can find a dark brown. Yeah. So for right now, I'll use this for my hair tone and see. Oh, you notice I covered up my face. So I'm going to fix that real quick and give him a little smiley face. And then I'm going to start. The easy part is the hair. So we're going to go from, oops, let's say we make him a little set of hair that has a part. Then it comes down the side of his head. He's got his ear. Then he goes down and goes around the backside. Then it goes down, same thing. Oop, let's undo that one. His ear looked way too low compared to everything else. That might not look great, but it is what it is for now. Then this is the back of my head. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of guesstimate that this is about the same height as those are. So if I do a file save, we're going to test it and see how it looks. Got my little ear, my part. So you can tell that one does not line up on that side. How's the other one? It's not bad. So this one connects there. So that could come up a hair. So let's go touch that up real quick. So we'll just bring it up a little bit and I will erase a little bit. Okay. Then the other side was that side needs to go down or this needs to come up. Let's try to bring it up because it'll be easier. So let's do paint. We'll bring that up. Let's do a file save. Oops. Go back over here. Could come up some more. Oh, actually, no. Let's just paint the back because I forgot I got to go straight across with that. So let's go like that and see what it looks like. File, save. This is the hard part, getting all of these pieces to match up as best as possible so you don't see any blemishes. And this one I'm going to go straight across too, I think, on the back. To cut too much off. Let's do file, save. So once I get the lines kind of matching, which that actually looks pretty good, let's check the other side. This side, so it's there. That side needs to come up on here, so let's try to do that. Grab my eraser and try to take off a hair of that. And it would help if I was using all the painting techniques that you could use, but right now I'm just trying to show you how to lay it out. All right, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good match. So then what I would do in here, I could go ahead and let's just do, I think we'll do a lasso. And I'll do select, deselect. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lasso around. To grab kind of the shape so that I can do a quick fill to show you the end. Then we can touch things up. Edit, fill, foreground, select, deselect, grab my paintbrush, and then go back in and touch it all these holes. And I'm going to do a file save. Now, if I go back over here, hopefully when it updates, it looks like my character. Now, again, you are going to want to spend some time. Oh, there's a space that I got a little gap that I'll have to touch up. It's somewhere in here where I'm missing some paint. So I'm gonna have to play around with that and figure out where. Oh, it's right over there. There we go, file save. So what you will do before watching the next episode, you will want to touch up your little character to make him look a little more presentable. But at least we now have a little character that's textured and can do its movements. All right, so I'm going to do a file, save scene as, call it number 6, hit save, and yes. All right, I'll see you in the next video.